There's Bobby.
Hey, Bobby.
Hi, Bobby.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. So I'm Josh, and this is Allison. For the site Josh at the Movies.
Oh wow, I love your background.
I was about to say something.
Thank you. Congrats on your Tribeca Film Festival debut.
Thank you.
For all of you.
Thank you so much.
So from the inception stage, what made you want to bring Lennon's story to the big screen, and how important was it to cast actors that could all really sing?
I mean, I think initially, before we even knew what the story would be, or before the character of Lennon was even born, we just wanted to write a band about our friends and the bands in Columbus that we had known, and kind of build a story around that. So it really started with Bobbi, because we had worked with her on a music video a few years ago and just really enjoyed her, and discovered her band Damn the Witch Siren that way. And she is so charismatic and great to work with on camera. So then we kind of came up with the character of Lennon as almost the antithesis of Bobbi's character, and built the story that way. But again, it was something that was just totally inspired by our experiences and kind of being in the small scene and the locations and the music and the friends we had in the city. Oh,
that's great. Yeah. I actually I downloaded the Red Magic album. I was listening to that like so much last night. It's a great one.
Thank you.
Claps.
I love that.
Bobbi, did you find it intimidating at all to star in your first film? And I thought your chemistry with Sylvie was really fascinating to watch, even when it was like more complicated and tense, like further in the movie.
Thank you. Yeah, I loved working with Sylvie. It was such a fun time. I don't know if I was ever intimidated. I think I was just, just having a real band in there. It was a little stressful because you just want to make sure that the integrity of something that you've built outside of this film is intact, and like your intention with like symbolism. And I wanted to make sure that, I trusted Luce, of course, but it's always hard to relinquish control of things when I'm so used to doing, like, we produce our own music, we do our own music videos, our lights, and so everything has been very in the house for me and Z. But it was also a very cool experience to do that. I always veer off. Wait, what was the question again?
Did you find it intimidating to star in your first film?
Okay. That was the only intimidating part, is just like making sure that Bobbi Kitten and Z Wolf did not become a parody of ourselves throughout this film. But it was really cool to like be able to be involved in something that was bigger than us, but be like have this little slice, and it felt very natural to me. Like it felt really cathartic, and I don't know, I wasn't nervous at all. I just felt like I just felt like I had so many real moments there, and it was just so nice to be able to create that with Luce.
Yeah, I mean, originally it was a decision that Bobbi would play herself and the band would actually be the real band. Originally we were kind of wrestling, like, should we just come up with another band and kind of do the same thing, but it would be like the movie version. And then we just sort of, came to that decision together, and it sort of just spiraled from there,
Yeah.
And I think it just really like grounds it in reality too, which is cool.
Yeah, it's just it was cool to see like our album art and like some of our music videos, and like like making a new music video with Luce that's kind of like loosely based off of our style. It was just really cool to see it like that. I was like having an outside of my body experience with my band.
Were there any other I mean, I'm assuming most of the other bands are also real bands, or were any of them like fictionalized versions as well?
No, pretty much all of them are real. Some were playing more exaggerated versions of themselves, but no, everything was all real bands and musicians. Yeah, like the weird couple on the couch at the beginning, they're a real band, but that's sort of not really their vibe. They were just acting.
Yeah. They're amazing.
Yeah.
Well, all the performances are very like natural, and I don't know, like nothing felt forced. I remember I looked up Bobbi after the movie because I was thinking like, oh, she's got to be in something else. And then, yeah, I was very surprised that this was her first movie, honestly.
Oh, thank
He's a
you.
natural for sure.
So good.
I read your review earlier actually, and I like wanted to cry. It just felt really, I don't know, it felt like there was like a really emotional response to it, and I'm glad that you took that away from the film because it's just the best.
Oh, thank you so much for reading. I appreciate that. We both really, Allison loved it too.
This was one of my favorites of the festival. I loved it. So good, so creative, and
Thank you so
honestly,
much.
yeah, you're welcome. And it was so relatable too, just as an up and coming like website doing reviews to relate to Lennon. It was like I could see myself in her shoes, at least at the beginning. Obviously, not at the end.
Yeah. You go there.
Yeah, you're trying to say something.
That's so cool.
So I have another one. The world of podcasting is a fickle beast. Is there a reason that you chose to portray Lennon's fake it till you make it mentality through the lens of a podcast? And did any real life podcasts inspire her, like her language or her dialogue in approaching this world of music?
I wouldn't say, I don't think there's any podcast necessarily that inspired her character, but I think we definitely had a lot of fun. I mean, originally, and this is like years ago, we had came up with a script, or not even a script, but just an idea of a character who records things. And that kind of was the foundation for the character. And I think the podcast grew from this idea of somebody who just records conversations and records things. And I think there's even some kind of like themes and symbolism in recording things and duplicating things. I suppose there's kind of something, I think there's something just kind of provocative about that idea of somebody who records something. And I think that when we talked about this character who's kind of trying to infiltrate the music scene, the idea of somebody who's interviewing the bands kind of seems like the fun way to have her get in with those bands. So that was kind of the genesis of that idea.
Yeah, because I know, like, obviously when you edit podcasts and stuff, you kind of replicate, carry over stuff. That's kind of like what she does with people's actual music. Like she's kind of copying, replicating off of them. So I thought that was really, really creative. I like that. I was also surprised that the thriller element was so involved. I wasn't really expecting that, and I really, I enjoyed that part. I was wondering, Bobbi, if you've ever had any crazy experiences with fans like Lennon, or if they've been more laid back experiences.
I actually have. This has actually happened to me more than once, but I did have this girl one time. I met her through work, but then she found out I was in a band, and she even copied my hair. It was like weird. I had like this asymmetrical cut with like yellow in just the front and feathers in my hair at the time. And she did the same exact thing. So it was like funny. And I would like, I was still nice to her though. And I always tried not to, I don't know. I like Lennon, I feel sorry for people because I've been there, trying to find your own identity and stuff. And I never judge people like that. If they come to our shows and they like really want to try to be my friend, I just try to embrace that whenever that's happened to me, because, it's cool when people are trying to find their own identity and they see inspiration through you. So I've never taken that as I don't know. I've never had anything go that far, actually. the darkness realm. So, but definitely have
ended up on the train
that
tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a cool way to go out, though, in the movie.
That was awesome. Surprising. So Lennon says the best way to discover new music is to hunt for it hidden away at record shops. What are some artists that you've discovered like this, completely blind of expectation?
Wow.
Well, the one that, so there's a band in the film called Son of Dribble, and it's the character who says, I know it's the line.
It's like
a family
yeah.
band.
Like if your really weird uncle had a band.
Yeah, so the band that says that, if you're really strange relative or whatever, we actually discovered them after we shot principal photography. And while I was editing the film, I discovered their music, and it was just such great music. and such the vibe of the film. And then we talked to them and we just really wanted to include them in the film. So we shot all of their stuff just to kind of get them in the film any way we could after the fact. But again, I mean, so much with all of us of the film is just kind of listening to music and listening to new sounds and hearing these new things. But I think in regards to this film specifically, the band Son of Dribble is an incredible band.
Yeah, and they're just so genuinely cool. Like it's just awesome working with them.
I'll definitely look them up now. I looked up Damn the Witch Siren after the movie, so I'm always looking for more music to listen to.
Oh, yay. Thank you.
Yeah, I think I listened to Sex You Up like 10 times last night.
That's
when I
a
was
good
starting out the questions.
You're like in here.
Bobbi, sorry, you didn't get to answer Josh's question about new artists that you had discovered from record stores.
Oh man, I guess mostly older artists. Like I feel like the first time I ever listened to Prince was just like, well, not the first time I ever listened to Prince, but actually got like a Prince album, was just like picking up a bunch of his albums, or Billie Holiday. I was really young and I used to go to this record shop called Finders. Do you guys remember that? There was like a Finders okay.
Is it in New York?
Well, I guess maybe you guys don't know where that's at. It's not in Columbus. Anyway.
Okay.
Now this feels really weird. But anyway, so yeah, I don't know. I've always just like picked up albums on a whim. Now it's different, because I feel like I listen to more music online, like just like from Apple Music, than I feel like I don't frequent at record stores as much as I used to, but I would like to expand my record collection. So I don't know, always.
I would love to expand my record collection too. I only have about like 20 vinyls, I think, but
yeah,
always looking to find some more.
Absolutely. We should go record shopping together.
Oh, that would be so fun.
Sounds awesome. Can you tell us something about the band Damn the Witch Siren that not even Lennon would know?
That not even Lennon would know? I don't know. I'm not really sure. I guess I'll tell you the story of how it originated is I kind of like fell in love with Z Wolf at first sight. I saw him on the cover of a magazine and he was like in another band. And I don't know why, I just said to myself, I'm like, I'm going to meet this guy, make him fall in love with me, and he's going to produce my new music. And then we're going to start a band and it's going to be amazing. And when I met him, the reason for the wolf came about. He told me his spirit animal is a wolf. And I was like, well, I feel like I'm a witch siren, and it just kind of melted into this thing. I love Clarissa Pinkola Estes' book, Women Who Run with Wolves. And it's about like letting your spirit open and like wild, like the wild, unreserved, like woman. And I've thought Z Wolf is like my kindred spirit to this project. And I feel like we kind of ran wild with this idea that was just kismet. So I don't know. I don't really tell a lot of people the origin story, so maybe that's something special.
I've never heard that.
I didn't know at all.
Incredible
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. That's so cool.
Thank you for asking.
I pretty much just have one more question. Do each of you have a favorite memory from set, or even a sequence in the finished film that you're like really proud of the way that it came out?
My favorite sequence, this isn't a memory, you'll think of a memory from set, but the sequence when Lennon is first meets Bobbi and Bobbi invites them up to go smoke in the room, and we kind of do the slow-mo shot and they're walking up the stairs and the music. Every time that scene happens, it's kind of like one of my favorite sequences, just both with the shots and the performances and how the music and everything came together. But that's a finished sequence. I don't know, I'm trying to think of, there's a lot of on-set memories.
Yeah, it was definitely a blur, and it was like the most fun I've ever had
I mean,
like,
probably the
doing
train. I feel like we should talk about
yeah,
the
the
train.
train was one of the
The night
coolest
when we got
things.
the train tracks and we were shooting, basically it was the through the night shoot. So we shot until sunrise twice actually for the pickup, but it was
Wow.
freezing. It was freezing out, pretty much snowing. I mean, it wasn't
Yeah.
snowing, but it would have been snowing, and we were up on. It was pretty miserable actually. And we had these train conductors.
Yeah, I mean,
they were like operating the trains for us.
yeah, it was. I mean, the fact that we were able to get a real train was also one of like the coolest things. When our producer, we were just trying to get a train track, and we were gonna figure out how we were gonna do it after that. And he called us, and he's like, "I got a train track. I also got a train." And we were like, "What?" And this like it was like a train museum, and it was just like this closed track, and all the conductors that they like volunteer their time to take kids on this little train ride just were so excited to do this for the movie, and they came out at night and we like shot all those scenes, and it was just like one of those kind of crazy experiences where like everything came together, and we're just like outside in the cold, like kind of miserable, but everyone just had like the biggest smile on their face the whole time. You know, like a great experience.
Bobby's getting dragged around.
Yeah, she loved it. Like,
I loved it. We could do that all night. I'm like, yes, the death scene. I was so stoked on it.
You got on the train track.
I think my favorite sequence is the montages of the friendship montage, because well, you can just tell like the energy was real when we shot those. It was so fun. It was just like us going out, like being friends, like hanging out, eating pizza, doing weird shit, like being ourselves with one another. And the energy every time I watch the montage scene, my heart just like flutters.
I mean, even with some of those scenes, we just gave Sylvie the camera. We're like, all right, we're just gonna hang out outside and like you guys just go have some fun and just like do your own thing, so that we can just like see the footage after. And it was one of the.
They gave us wine. They fed us wine. We're just like drinking and like that was
running
fun.
around Columbus causing trouble.
Uh-huh.
Was a lot of that aspect to it like kind of like improvised? Was that how much of that was improvised? Like the
Pretty much. I think we picked some like locations and props and stuff, but for the most part, that was just we were shooting on an actual VHS camera and just running around.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like a little DV kind of Sony Handycam kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's the same camera that she uses in the movie, actually.
Oh, wow.
That is wild. I love that.
Yeah, you know, it was just really fun, and like I think for us too, like as editors, we just like we love getting stuff where we can just like, you know, see what's working, and then you know we went and shot more, like came up with some new places we wanted to go to, and just like had fun as a group, you know. And that's like also really fun stuff to shoot because you don't need a big crew. I mean, it's just like us running around, and it's so much fun.
Well, I love that. Allison, did you have anything you wanted to ask?
Oh, I was just gonna say, are you and Sylvie very close after this film, or did the friendship in the movie kind of extend outside the movie?
Well, I think we definitely support each other. I feel like because of COVID and everything happening, that happened right after the film, after we got done filming. And so I felt estranged from even like my close friends. I feel like Sylvie and I still haven't gotten a chance to really hang out and get to know each other. And so, but last night we did, and we got to celebrate for the first time, and it was amazing. And I feel like, yeah, our energy, our chemistry together is, I don't know, she's a Gemini, I'm a Libra. It just makes sense.
And basically, to go off of Bobby, we shot the principal photography basically right before the pandemic started, which was just so lucky for us. So we just kind of finished up, and then everybody went into lockdown, and then we were editing during quarantine.
Yeah.
So another question I guess that I have, so Bobby, your style in the movie is very unique and really fun. Is that the same style as your personal style, or was it modified a little bit or amped up for the movie? And I mean, I love your earrings, by the way, right now. They're
Thank
so
you.
cool.
These are my Edie Sedgwick inspired chandeliers. Do you know who she is? No, she was like an it girl during the Andy Warhol factory times. And she's like one of my fashion icons. But no, all the clothes in the film were mine. I think there was one dress that was borrowed from Sarah, who did wardrobe, but she helped, curate from my closet. And, but no, that's just me. That's all me.
Awesome. It was so unique. Like I loved every outfit, and that was one of the best parts of the film.
I
as
feel
well.
like I have a really eclectic style, and I always try to make it into like an outfit instead of just like, just like all of my inspiration for different styles and kind of melting it. And so your compliment just blew me away because, I just love that. Thank you.
I always got
Yeah.
excited to see what Bobbi would come to set in because we never knew a lot of times. It was like, oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's great talking to you.
Yeah.
Thanks for talking. And it
Yeah,
was
thank
great,
you so
Yeah.
great meeting you guys virtually.
Yeah,
Yes,
great meeting you guys,
thank
and
you.
happy
Yeah.
you enjoyed the film.
Hopefully we meet at some festival down
Yeah.
the road again.
Sounds
You're
great.
awesome.
Yeah.
Have a good
All right.
one.
Nice chatting.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.